This is Tim with the Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. We have to do this in front of the video. We just did a video, now I'm going to record this and cut this into the front of the video because it looks like the New York Giants have started the purge of the roster, the purge of the Gettleman garbage, I like to refer to it as. And the first player has fallen is Kyle Rudolph. Looks like Kyle Rudolph has been or is going to be released by the Giants. It's come out on Twitter. The Giants, of course, are going to incur $2.4 million in dead cap space, and its projected savings, of course, of $5 million. It wouldn't have mattered where they released him. It wouldn't have mattered what time they released him. It's the same thing. Kyle Rudolph was never the same player, even close to the player that he was back in Minnesota. I said when they signed him, he was washed up. Everyone told me, but he's going to be this red zone threat. It's like, well, did you actually go and look at his stats from the previous 2 years? I mean, he 16 games and 367 yards and 6 touchdowns. 12 games in 2020, 334 yards. He had been regressing since 2018. So there was no way that I thought he was going to contribute anything, and we just gave him this exorbitant amount of salary, even for a guy that's came off as he had an injury in the offseason. We didn't void the contract. We just kept him, and we didn't even try to renegotiate. We just let him play out his injury. So the Gettleman garbage is being purged. The first one to go now is Kyle Rudolph. More to come, fans. More to come. All right, and now we're going to go into our regularly scheduled video. Thank you.
The truth.
All right, everyone, this is Tim with the Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Oh, we got a lot going on. We have the start of the season coming up on March 16th. We then have, of course, legal tampering starting on March 14th. We got the combine going on. We got free agency. We got the draft coming up. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. Schoen, I want to talk about a moment because he gave a couple interviews and did a press conference, of course, in reference to the state of the affair of the New York Football Giants. And he talked about what he wants to do in the $40 million he wants to be under and the possibility of trading Saquon Barkley. And he basically came out and said at this point in time, he's open to anything.
That's what she said.
And, one of the big thing is you got to look at Barkley. He's got a fully guaranteed $7.2 million salary coming up right now because the Giants exercise his fifth-year option. They won't save any money by cutting him. But, and this is a big but, and that's what she said, they do save money if they trade him. If they trade him either post or pre June 1st, they automatically save $7.2 million. If you release him, you have a dead cap number of $7.2 million, no savings. But if you trade him either post or pre June 1st, you're saving $7.2 million. Now, the big question is, unless you are desperate to get under that cap, and there's no other reasonable way to get under the cap. Yeah, moving on from Barkley is not a bad idea, but the problem is right now your market value for him is not that high. You're not going to get what you should be getting for a second overall pick, who's still only 25 years old, who could still potentially have a good 5-year run in his career. So you're never going to get the actual value for Saquon Barkley. And is Saquon Barkley more valuable as a potential elite running back at $7 million than he is for trading away from maybe a 4th-round pick? Because no one's going to give you a 2nd-round pick right now for Barkley. No one's giving you a 1st-round pick right now for Barkley. You have to rebuild his trade value. And I think that's I think when it was brought up to Shane, it was just kind of saying, hey, At least he's looking at all and exploring all options and all opportunities. He says, we're still working through that, but I'm open to everything.
That's what she said.
Whether it's trading players, I'm not going to say the entire roster. Not going to say the entire roster. We're open for business. But if anyone is going to call and is interested in any of the players, I'll certainly listen. Again, we're in a situation where unfortunately we have to get under the cap. We don't have very good salary cap health. No, you're on life support right now. I'm not going to say yes to every deal, but I'm going to listen and be open to the situation that's best for the New York Giants. And I'm going to tell you right now, what's best for the New York Giants is keeping a potential Hall of Fame. I'm going to take a potential Pro Bowl running back at $7 million. Because you're not going to find that on the free agent market. You're not going to find, I'm not sure you're going to find that in this year's draft. But that's what you need to look at. That you can't, and I've said this a million times, when people are always like, well, we're going to dump this guy, we're going to dump this guy. Okay, great. You're dumping all these guys. But what are you bringing back of quality to replace these guys? You're incurring this dead cap number, and you're going to have less money to spend on replacing a guy that probably is going to be better than the guy you're replacing him with because you're only doing it to save money. It's a sticky situation. It's an interesting situation. The Giants, like I said, are right now, they're probably about $12 million over the cap. It's actually probably more of that because I think that $12 million is the rule of 51. I think they're more around $15 million over the cap right now. And they have 9 picks. So, I mean, and 2 first rounders, including 5 and 7. So you got to fund that. And plus you need to fund, and people always forget, you need to pay the guys on the practice squad. And you need to have money to sign and replace players during the season. We can't have what we have last year where we couldn't field a 53-man roster because we just didn't have the money to do it. So like I said, moving on from people like, Bradbury is a great idea. If the Giants release him, they can save $12.1 million in cap space. But who are you going to find that you're going to replace him with that is going to be better than James Bradbury? Do you think you're going to get lucky? Is there someone along the roster that you think is going to that is going to stand out and replace him? Well, now while Bradbury had a horrid season, not horrid, but while Bradbury had a difficult season at times, I think he has lost a step a little bit in man-to-man coverage. He's going to be better off in the zone. He still is going to be better than probably 70% of the cornerbacks in the league are on the market. I think he's going to be better than 90% of the corners that are currently going to be coming up in the free agent market. And I'm saying that in reference to the salary. I'm not saying that in reference to ability. I should rephrase that. I'm saying that in reference to the combination of ability and salary. Because you got to remember, you're saving $12 million, but you're not going to take that $12 million, that entire $12 million spot, and then turn around and have it just for that corner. You're going to spread that $12 million around. So you may be then trying to sign a corner at $3-4 million who's going to replace James Bradbury. Now that's a bad way to do business. And like I said, it's going to be bad. I'm not lying. I'm not going to lie to people. It's going to be bad. I think if the Giants win more than 4 games, that it's going to be interesting. Someone sent me an interesting article in reference to Brandon Beane's 10 biggest moves since taking over the Bills GM jobs 1 year ago. And of course, that's you got to tie Brandon Beane in with the Schoen. And if they follow the game plan, I kind of like the idea. The first thing that they did was trade up for Josh Allen. Maybe they could do that to Malik Willis. Second thing they did, and it was kind of people say it's kind of a wow moment, and because Sammy Watkins at a time was a good receiver, he was on par for 1 or 2 seasons with Odell Beckham, but he then traded him to the LA Rams, and that was during his first year, and at that point in time, that was his most recognizable player, and that was showing his aggressive move, and then to get away from the quarterback controversy, they also traded away Tyrod Taylor. So it's if the Schoen follows what he's done previously, he could be a man of his word and potentially be the wheel and dealer that we need to get this team back on the right track. Now you have to hope that the moves pan out, and I think that's the biggest issue. Will the moves pan out? And I'm not saying they will, and I'm not saying they won't. But you got to give the guy time. You got to let him have. You got to let him have that. You got to let him have that moment or those seasons to go through the minutia and the garbage that we have. And I love it also because the Schoen came out, because we had the beat writer come out and said the Giants are unlikely to pick up the contract, and the Schoen came out and said that's a $22 million decision, so we're going to take our time. In reference to Daniel Jones' 5th-year option. I just love it because Twitter exploded when the beat writer said he didn't even say that they're not. He didn't even say he had direct knowledge from the Giants that they were going to do it or not do it. He just said, well, they're probably not going to do it. And then Shane comes out and says, that's a $22 million decision. We're going to take our time. Of course you're going to take your time. You're not picking up the contract. The kid's never been healthy. So you're not going to sit there and pick up the option. But again, it was just some more interesting information from the Shane. Like I said, I'm excited to see what he can do. I'm excited in regards also to Brian Dable to see what he's going to do with this team, because he does seem like, if you listen to him talk and you see him giving press conferences, things such as that, you just get excited in reference to what you think he can do. And I think it's not that I don't have that feeling that I had with Joe Judge the moment after his press conference, that sick feeling I had in the pit of my stomach when Joe Judge spoke, because I thought everything that came out of his mouth was horseshit. And I don't have that same feeling with Deshane, with Deshane or the Dable. The Dable seems like a stand-up guy, and he seems like a guy that gets it. So we have to just kind of wait and see. Again, like I said, I'm going to be releasing to my OG online Big Blue members only. It's a big $1.99 a month. My top 51 players of the NFL draft here in 2022. So that's going to be fun. I don't know if we're going to do a video of a live stream to go over that list of top 51 that I'm going to present out. So we'll make a decision on that. If we do a video, it'll probably be on Friday. If we do a live stream, it'll be on a regular live stream on Sunday. Got a couple fun guests coming in on Sunday as well. Dropping the mic, helping me out here, because you always know I like to talk to different people, get different Giant perspectives. And if you want to come on to the show, just email me, but onlineBigBlue@gmail.com. That's onlineBigBlue@gmail.com. And we can set up a time for you to come in as well. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giant sports talk entertainment. And as always, if you can maybe subscribe, ring that bell, you know what it means. That'd be awesome.